You guys are as well. We're about to go into Q4 literally tomorrow. So it is a great day. Today's the last day of Q3. We are down to the last 3 months of the year. And ladies, if you have fibroids, if you have these womb issues, there's a lot you can do in 3 months to transform your life, to transform your womb health, right? To transform your hormonal health. There's a lot you can do in 3 months where you don't have to continuously suffer with these issues, okay? So we're gonna talk about that today. Preventing fibroids from reoccurring, part 2. I wanted to cover that today. I'm waiting on more people to come on TikTok. What's going on TikTok? It's slow today, okay? We typically got a lot of people on TikTok. Okay, we got some people coming in. As you're coming in, let me know before we get started where you guys are watching from. Again, we're talking about preventing fibroids from coming back, okay? The part 2, this is part 2 of this conversation because we had part 1. Part 1, the live stream is on YouTube, the replay. So in case you did not watch part 1, watch part 1. It was so good. And I might honestly put it in the members section. So watch it. We did it on the 21st. So last week. Okay. UK. Welcome. All right. So we got Germany. Okay. UK's in the house. Europe's in the house. Okay. Welcome, ladies. I'm currently in Spain. I've been living here for a while. So yes, I love that. Okay. Awesome. I've had a few clients from UK. So we're okay. Let me know as you guys are coming in where you guys watching from. If you're watching from YouTube, let me know where you guys are watching from. Today, we're talking about preventing fibroids from reoccurring, how to do that. So if you've had fibroids, if you currently have fibroids, or if you've had surgery for your fibroids, or if you had a UFE procedure, any procedure to remove your fibroids, but you did not get to the root cause of the problem, you need to be here, okay? If you know someone that's had surgery for fibroids, share this live with them. I am streaming live as well from YouTube as well. It's really important that you know how to prevent fibroids from coming back. There's women that's had fibroids several times after continuously having surgery and still have the fibroids. I need you guys to know that that's not a way you want to live. And you probably know that on your own. That's not a way you want to live. And you have to know what changes to make to prevent these fibroids from continuously reoccurring, okay? I'm saying this as somebody that's had fibroids not once, but twice, and that has been fibroid-free for over 12 years now. So I know what I'm talking about, and I've helped many women become free of fibroids, become free of endometriosis, adenomyosis, get pregnant naturally after years of infertility, and so much more, okay? So I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for years. I'm a holistic womb specialist. For those that are new, watch me for the first time. Hi, welcome. Happy that you guys are here. Hi, YouTube. YouTube, make sure that you guys click the thumbs up button. If you're watching from TikTok, tap on that screen so more women can come on, okay? Can also watch this live. I'm a holistic womb specialist. What I do is I help women who have fibroids. I partner with women to dissolve their fibroids. Also, I help women completely reverse their chronic reproductive health conditions, okay? And I do that through my womb detoxification framework, okay? And what that does is that helps women get to the root cause of the problem for lasting solutions, right? So we do root cause healing here, all right? We address the root cause, which is extremely important to annihilating the problem. You cannot get rid of a problem if you don't get to the root cause of it. This is why women will continuously get fibroids over and over again, over and over and over again. Thank you for the likes. Thank you, Curry, for the likes. I appreciate it. Because they're not getting to the root. They have not gotten to the root. And they will continuously go through life, years, decades, suffering with fibroids without getting to the root cause of the problem. Trying all types of remedies, trying all types of things without getting to the root, okay? So I need you guys to know that it's very possible to become fibroid free naturally, number one. But again, if we don't target the root cause, and when I say the root cause, I mean physically, hormonally, because when we have fibroids, it's a full body issue. It's not just a uterine issue. It's a full body issue. It's not just your uterus that has issues. It's also, your hormonal balance is off. Your liver is overloaded. Our elimination organs are overloaded. I'm also talking about, how your lymphatic system is congested. Your gut is backed up. All of these things are going on, right? When we're dealing with fibroids. So it's important that you know that. Okay, Classic Dame, I see your question. I want to keep it on topic today, but yes, you can. You can stop. You can stop the bleeding. I posted yesterday on my stories how my clients who was bleeding for 62 days in a row. She had fibroids, 62 days. She took my 6-week womb healing experience. She was bleeding for 63 days in a row. By week 3 of the program, her bleeding stopped. She felt so much better. In a couple more weeks, her anemia cleared up. She had more energy. She felt so much, and this is somebody that was in the emergency room due to heavy bleeding, right? Due to continuous bleeding. She had to take off, before she came to the program, 2 weeks off from work. That's how bad it was. So yes, you can stop the bleeding, right? But we have to work with a professional here that knows what we're doing, right? So whether it's somebody like me or somebody else that does what I do naturally, because if you take medications, all you're gonna do is overload your system, overload the filtration system in your body, and it's already overloaded when you have fibroids, okay? So the medications, they'll give you temporary relief, but you're not gonna get lasting relief with medications. They're actually doing more harm on the back end. That's what you guys have to learn about medication, pharmaceuticals, okay? So be very careful. I don't do pharmaceuticals unless it has to be like dire. I don't do pharmaceuticals, right? I haven't taken them in years. So be very careful with that. Okay, so how do we prevent fibroids from coming back, ladies? And please like the video. Let me know in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you're dealing with fibroids. YouTube is always quiet. I don't know what's going on YouTube. YouTube, put a 1 in the chat if you're dealing with fibroids so I can know that it's not bots that are watching me here. Also, TikTok, put a 1 in the chat if you're currently dealing with fibroids, or if you've had surgery, for your fibroids, okay? Let me know in the chat, because if you've had surgery and you currently don't have fibroids, but you've had surgery to get rid of fibroids, you're gonna wanna listen into this. You're gonna wanna listen in, okay? So, it looks like everybody's shy. Nobody wants to. I don't know. You guys, give me something here, okay? It looks like we have a dry crowd today, okay? But I hope that you guys are at least listening, okay? If you're not gonna respond, at least listen, okay? So, when we talk about fibroids, when we talk about preventing them from coming back, you have to also address, thank you for the likes. Yes, let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up so we can get more women in here. If you're watching from TikTok, if you're watching from, YouTube, click the thumbs up button, okay? Click the thumbs up button, okay? And that's it on YouTube. Put a 1 in the chat if you're dealing with fibroids. Okay, so I had a UFE done for fibroids. Okay, thank you for letting me know, Jess. Okay. So we have women that are currently on the live experiencing fibroids, okay? So that's good. Like I said, you're gonna wanna listen to this. Now, when you have fibroids, right, the reason why they continuously come back is because we did not get to the root cause of the problem. So we have to, I talked about, a few things in the part 1. I'm gonna talk about more things in part 2. This is part 2 of preventing fibroids from coming back. Part 1 is on YouTube. So if you're not subscribed to my YouTube, subscribe so you can also watch part 1. Now, you have to also address the emotional trauma as well, because the emotional burdens that you suppress, they get trapped in the body on an energetic level. A lot of women don't know that their emotional trauma, the stress that they're going through, correlates with fibroid growth. They don't understand that, but it's very true. When your body's in fight or flight mode, when you're suppressing trauma, right? That means that you haven't processed through it. You haven't dealt with it. You're stuck, like you just pushed it to the side, right? Or you think that it just magically go away. You'll stop if you stop thinking about it. That's not the truth. Unfortunately, that's not the truth. That's somebody that's trying to do that. That's not the truth. Your body keeps score. So if those things that you suppressed, your body keeps score. So when your womb is also, it's a portal. It's a energetic organ as well, right? So it's also a spiritual organ, if you don't know. I know that's a little bit too deep for some people, but it's the truth. So when we're talking about the womb here, you being a woman, right? We're talking about the womb. This is your sacred portal. So the things that you suppress end up in the womb on an energetic level. So when you're going through fibroids, think about your fibroids also as the pain and the hurts, the hidden parts of you, the shadow parts of you that you've suppressed, the pain, the hurt, the heartbreaks, right? For some women that may be sexual trauma, for some women that may be abandonment issues, for some women that may be, rejection, right? Low self-worth. These things that you've buried, that you've been through, unfortunately, do become hidden in the womb, right? On an energetic level. So these fibroids that you have, they're not just physical, they're also energetic. And I explained this, I went deep into this in the free masterclass we had over the weekend. If you weren't there, you missed out, And if you weren't in the masterclass, you might want to get on the email list so you don't miss out on any of the things that we have, okay? But we had a masterclass and it was so good. But I want to say this. So when you have these issues, when you have these reproductive health issues, you have to know and understand it's not just physical. It's deeper than that. So you have to ask yourself, what are you emotionally suppressing? So we can't ignore this part. It's not about, oh, what diet do I follow? What are we emotionally suppressing? Somebody mentioned heavy bleeding. That's anxiety. That's suppression. What are you suppressing, right? Your body is connected with your emotions. So if your body is showing you symptoms, like these things have a root cause, emotional root cause as well, not just the physical root cause. Because of the way we're trained, a lot of us look for healing just physically and not emotionally, not knowing that our emotions has a lot to do with our health as well, okay? So keep that in mind. That's really important for you to know. So you have to, in order to prevent fibroids from coming back, address that. If you're in, toxic relationships, if you're in toxicity, if you're just going, if you're in, if you're just like, always in a state of stress, always in fight or flight, those fibroids will come back. Those fibroids will come back. That's what you have to realize, and that's what you have to know, okay? So it's important that you address the emotional trauma. You also get your body out of a state of stress, right? So you have to ask yourself, what kind of lifestyle am I living, right? You have to, this is why I say it's an entire transformation. It's a lifestyle transformation. It's not just we do one thing and we get rid of fibroids. No, I wish it was that easy. And if you've had surgery, if you had a procedure, this is work you have to do, because if not, the fibroids will just come back, right? We had one client that we worked with that previously had UFE procedure, and I think she had 2 myomectomies and still had fibroids, right? So it's important that you know these issues will continuously come back until you get to the root cause of the problem, okay? So it's important. And I mentioned before too, in part 1, how you need to stop being reactive with your health and be proactive. That means that we can't just care about our health when something goes wrong, when we get a diagnosis. Before that point, we have to start caring about our health, okay? Before that, so if you have a history of fibroids, you have to keep your body in a healthy state. So you have to understand, thank you so much, Shay, for the likes. You have to understand, when you have fibroids, again, it's a full body issue. It's not just a uterine issue. And a lot of women, they think very surface level when it comes to their health. And that's at their own detriment, right? They don't understand that this is a full body issue when you're dealing with fibroids. We're dealing with lots of toxicity in the body, right? So that's important. So it's important that you know and understand that, okay? You gotta stop being reactive. We can't just care about our fibroids when we're bleeding heavily. A lot of you guys will not even inquire about, getting rid of fibroids unless it's affecting your everyday life. And that's not, you got to stop doing that. Some people, they will sign up to work with me because they had a really bad period and because they were hospitalized. Don't wait till it gets to that point. Don't wait till it gets to that point, because if you continuously engage in those same habits that you're doing, it will get to that point. And we're going into we're in fall right now. We're going into the winter season. Guess what? Fibroid hospitalizations go up during this season, right? Women tend to experience worse symptoms in the colder seasons. So you got to keep that in mind. So what are you doing now to prevent that? What are you doing now to prevent that, right? Are you addressing your fibroids? Are you getting to the root cause of the problem? Are you doing the work that you have to do? Or are we still having these same habits and going while we were suffering, but we still had the same habits? That doesn't make any sense. Okay? So you have to be more proactive when it comes to your health. When we have fibroids, it's because that there was a time where you neglected yourself, and there was a time that you abandoned yourself. And a lot of you guys, it's still currently the case. And it could have been neglected physically, health-wise. You could have been neglectful with your emotional well-being. You could have been neglectful with your mental health, right? I'm gonna give you an example. So if you stay in a really toxic relationship or you stayed in a really toxic marriage. Good afternoon, Michelle. Good afternoon. You stayed in a very toxic marriage where you're being mistreated. That's you neglecting yourself, and that's self-abandonment, right? So that's an example, right? And a lot of women get fibroids. As a matter of fact, after really bad relationships, after really bad marriages, they get fibroids, stressful marriages, right? So that's a form of, how did you have to ask yourself, how did I abandon myself in the past? Was it by having to seek out validation? Was it, a lack of me just being an autopilot and going with the motions, working, paying bills, this, that, and not taking time to sit with myself, to tune in with myself? Because that's a big thing as well. That's a form of self-abandonment as well, as self-neglect. Was it me, just in, succumbing to like bad environments where there's, friends that really mean well, just to have, I guess, just to have somebody there, or you let your family just take from you. So there's different ways. Or maybe you were getting your master's, or you were in law school or whatever, and you weren't taking care of yourself. You were, just going through the motions, getting the work done, but you were neglecting yourself. So it's a time in your life, and let me know if this resonates. Put a 1 in the chat if this resonates. When you were dealing with fibroids, or maybe even still now, there was some form of neglect. There was some form of self-abandonment. And that could look in many different ways, right? There was some point, one person said one. Okay, everybody else, I guess, doesn't apply. But I don't know what's going on today. Usually people are not this quiet, okay? Especially with TikTok, But I don't know if this is a bad time. I don't know if we should have done this another time, or I should just pack it up and do it another time. I don't know. But I need more from y'all, okay? Because like your doctor, like I always say, your doctor's not giving you this information. It's important that you guys engage. I had a traumatic childhood in a first relationship. So sorry to hear that. Yeah, so fibroids, like I said, is some form of self-abandonment, some form of self-neglect, right? During the time that you got the fibroids. And for a lot of women, that's still the case right now. That's still the case right now. That's why it's important to understand, listen, when you don't get to the root cause of the problem, they will continuously become an issue. This is why women are having 3 surgeries to get rid of fibroids, 4 surgeries to get rid of fibroids, and still have the fibroids. And still will get fibroids afterwards. Still develop fibroids afterwards. If these women act confused, there's nothing to be confused about. You did not address the root cause. You did not address the root cause. Okay, I had surgery December 2023. Okay. So, Michelle, are you dealing with fibroids now? And thank you for engaging. Thank you for engaging. I don't know where everybody, I have 4 left. Okay. So they did not take out all the fibroids. They did not, or they grew back. Which one was it? Hey, Teresa, welcome. Be sure to click the thumbs up button. Like, if you're watching from YouTube, click that thumbs up button so that they can push it out to more women that have fibroids, okay? That's important. Do fibroids grow overnight, or does it start small? It depends. They're not just going to magically just, you wake up and all of a sudden you have a 5-centimeter fibroid. What happens is that the symptoms were there, right? Your body has to be out of balance, right? Before fibroids can occur. So your body was showing you signs. Your body has to be hormonally imbalanced. Your lymphatic system has to be congested. More than likely, you got signs during your period, but a lot of women don't know what a normal period is, unfortunately. A lot of women think that heavy bleeding is normal, passing clots during their period is normal. They think that cramps are normal, right? So your body showed you signs before the period came about. Some women may not find out that they have fibroids until it's, 10 centimeters. Right? Because they didn't, get checked, or because their doctor, when they were getting checked, the doctor just didn't, I don't know. their doctor just didn't, didn't check for it, or didn't see it. Or I know that you usually go for an ultrasound or MRI to confirm that whether you have fibroids, but doctors, when they're doing these pap smears and these vaginal exams, they should see some signs of that, right? Don't get me started with these doctors, but it's important that you understand and know that, right? So it's not necessarily that they grow overnight. They were there. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate that. Mine range from 4 to 6 centimeters. Okay, my doctor recommends UFE. I just talked about UFE earlier, and we're actually talking about UFE as well. Thank you so much for the gifts, Michelle. What I'm saying is that the fibroids will grow back after UFE, and UFE is not getting to the root cause of the problem. UFE, it does not get to the root cause of the problem, ladies. That's what you guys have to know and understand. So what will happen is that you will get the fibroids afterwards. They will grow back. As a matter of fact, I did a video on this. This was somebody that follows me that had a UFE procedure a couple years ago in 2023, right? Her fibroids shrunk a little bit after the procedure. Her symptoms calmed down a bit, but then guess what? Between 2023 and 2025, she grew 10 more fibroids. So she started off with 6. That's what when they did the procedure. Then it ended up with 16 in 2025. And the symptoms were so bad. So she may experience some relief for a couple months after, maybe like 6 months after the procedure, after the UFE procedure. But after that, her symptoms again started coming back, and it came back worse. And she grew again 10 more fibroids. Okay? So when you don't get to the root cause of the problem, this is what happens, ladies. Okay, this is what happens. This is why I preach every live I do. Get to the root cause of these fibroids. Get to the root, address the root cause, right? And don't play around with that, because when you have fibroids, it's a full body issue, right? I just called off my partial hysterectomy. We got to clap for that one. I will heal myself naturally from fibroids. Don't let nobody castrate you. I mean, I love to hear that. Don't let anybody castrate you. You can heal naturally. You can heal your womb naturally. Don't allow anybody to castrate you. I don't care whether you want to have kids or not, because that is castration. And the womb is sacred. And I get it, when we're desperate sometimes, we make rash decisions. Some people, when they're desperate to do surgery or to do a hysterectomy or a partial hysterectomy, right? But what you don't understand is that you did not get rid of the root cause. Somebody asks what the root cause is, you need to be on my YouTube channel. We break that down. You need to also be on the links in my bio. You also need to be on my email list. Okay? If you're not, everybody should be on my email list. Because I give 7 days of fibroid healing truths. Okay? So if you're not on my email list, click the link in my bio. It's free. Get on the email list. Okay? The root causes, when we have fibroids, it's a full body issue. Your hormones are out of balance, completely out of balance. This is why women that have fibroids, again, their health just worsens as time goes on. You're dealing with a lot of toxin overload in the body. You're dealing with a congested lymphatic system. You're dealing with, your backed up digestive system. The elimination organs are overloaded. It's so much going on in the body when you have fibroids. It's when your body can grow a tumor. Don't think that it just comes out of nowhere. Don't think that just comes out of nowhere. If your body can grow a tumor in your uterus, it can grow a tumor anywhere. So when we do root cause healing, we're preventing a lot of other health issues as well. That's why I'm such a proponent of getting to the root cause of the problem, because you're preventing other health issues as well. And I broke this down in my free masterclass that I had over the weekend, when I was saying that, listen, when you don't get to the root cause of these fibroids, this is why breast cancer is on the rise, uterine cancer, these estrogen dominant cancers are on the rise. Okay, I'm not saying it's, you're going to get that, but what I am saying is that the risk for that is higher, because fibroids is an estrogen dominant condition. Okay, it's higher when you don't get to the root cause, right? So it's important that you know that. Somebody's asking me, okay. I don't even know if I can say that word on it, because I'm streaming live from YouTube, but is sex bleeding, is that possible? Fibroids, well, not on period. Yeah, that's possible. If you have fibroids, you can bleed anytime. You can bleed between your periods, after having sex, yes, you can bleed. And if that's the case, unfortunately, you can bleed anytime when you have fibroids. Anytime, right? Most women that have fibroids have very irregular periods, okay? Okay, your doctor's pressing you to get a hysterectomy, get a new doctor. Get a new doctor. Your doctors, and I know that doctors will press and pressure. You know that they're working for you. You can't allow them to pressure you to do anything. Y'all can't allow. They're not like. we are adults. Like if you're watching, I'm assuming that you're an adult. Okay, they can't make you do anything you don't want to do. They can't make you do anything that you don't want to do. You have to. So, of course, they're going to push surgery. Surgeons are going to push surgeries. That's what they're going to do. They're going to make it seem like you have to get surgery. That's the only time that you can fix it. No, that's not the truth. Surgeons promote surgery. That's what they're going to do. Whether it's taking out your whole uterus or taking out the fibroid. But again, what they're not going to do is get to the root cause of the problem, because again, you become a repeat customer. So yeah, you'll get the hysterectomy, but guess what? It'll be another health issue that pops up because again, we did not get to the root cause of the problem. Okay? So be careful with that. Can constipation issues cause fibroids? Yes, and fibroids and due to fibroids, because you have to understand, when you're constipated, you literally have waste in the body. Your body cannot expel waste. So that's the problem with it. That can cause so many health issues. But also, too, women that have fibroids, a lot of women that have fibroids have digestive and constipation issues as well. If you're eating several times a day and only use the bathroom one time, move your bowels one time, you're constipated. You are constipated. A lot of people don't know that, but that's the truth. So a lot of women are constipated, okay? If you only move your bowels once a day, but yet you're eating 3 meals a day, you are constipated. Where are those other 2 meals going? Where are they going? That waste is recirculating in the body, okay? So so what's the regular cycle to you, Jess? Because I hear this a lot. And a lot of women don't know what a regular cycle is. They think if they bleed for a whole week, that's normal. They think if their periods are heavy, that's normal, right? Your period should be, let me break it down. Your period should be light and you shouldn't have any symptoms. And when I say that, women are like, what? You don't know that until you get to the other side. And I get it. When your periods are so bad, it could be, to hear that can be like, oh my God, there's no way. I had a client and she did a video testimonial. If you're watching I put it on my shorts and I also put it on TikTok. She said that her periods used to be 7 days long and very painful, heavy bleeding. She said her periods she had no energy during her periods because they were so heavy and they were like draining her life for a whole entire week. She said when she was working with me in my 6-week womb healing experience, the period that she had in the program, probably like 3-4 weeks into the program, she was like 4 days. It was light. She used to wear pull-ups, adult pull-ups during her period. She was like, all she needed was a regular pad. She was like, I had energy. This was the time where she was moving too, and still was able to do. She was like, I was climbing up steps and doing everything. I could never do that on my period before. I could never do it. In her own words, go ahead and hear it in her own words, and you can see the happiness in her face. So I say all that to say, listen. We don't have to suffer. You're not supposed to suffer on your period. A lot of you've been brainwashed. You're not supposed to be bloated. You're not supposed to have breast tenderness. All of those things are signs of toxicity. Okay, all of those things are signs of toxicity and a hormonal imbalance. A lot of the things that we've normalized. A lot of the things that we've normalized is actually to our own detriment, unfortunately. Okay, so you have to be very careful. This is why you have to understand the cues your body is giving you. Are you still on Clubhouse? No. That place still exists? No. But hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. Oh, heck no. That was years ago, and no. Absolutely not. I had fibroid surgery. I was told that I have a high rate of immature eggs. How do I fix that? You got to get to the root cause of the problem. Thank you for that question. When you've had fibroids, when you have fibroids, you have to understand, listen, you have not addressed the root cause. You have not addressed, when you have fibroid surgery, you have to understand these surgeries don't get to the root cause of the problem. They don't get to the root cause of the problem. So you have not gotten to the root cause of the problem, okay? You have not gotten to the root cause of the problem. Somebody said so many funny moments. Yeah. I don't even want to talk about Clubhouse. But anyway, so it's important that you know that, right? It's important that you know that. Thank you for the gifts, India. You have not addressed the root cause when you have these surgeries, when you guys have these UFE procedures, that's not addressing the root cause. You still have what caused the fibroids there, okay? You still have what caused the fibroids there. So of course, yes, that could interfere with your fertility. If you, I just did I posted about my clients. I actually posted this on my email list, but I was talking about my client who had issues with getting pregnant, had fibroids. She had issues with getting pregnant for years. She was married. She was 39 years old. She came to work with me after she tried everything. She tried fertility treatments, they didn't work, and they actually almost shut down her kidneys. She tried so many different things and was not getting pregnant. She tried ovulation discs, all of these things, these devices, these things that they tell you to try. She was not getting pregnant. She came to work with me in my 6-month program, our Detoxify Your Womb program. That's the best way to work with me, for 6 months. By the time she did her scan after working with me, because she didn't only have fibroids, it's not only that she had issues with fertility, she also had adenomyosis, she also had precancerous cells in the uterus. She had a lot of stuff going on. She had blocked tubes, she had uterine scarring from her past surgeries. She had a lot, it was a lot going on, okay? All of that stuff cleared up. And when they saw the scan, they also said that they saw healthy follicles on her ovaries for the first time. Right? She ended up getting pregnant months later, and she had her baby earlier this year. If you want to read about her full story, click the link in my bio. Client case study. You see everything with results. With receipts. You read her full story from the time she started working with me till the end. Right? So you see her pregnant belly at the end. You see her picture and everything. So if you want to read about her story, if you're watching from YouTube, click the link. There's a link in my description box, client case study, where that will take you right to it, okay? So that's important. My doctor told me the only way I can get rid of fibroids is if I have surgery. Y'all gotta stop listening to these doctors. They're not there to listen. And let me say what I say on my other lives. Some of you guys are new. Welcome. Get on the email list. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, because you're gonna want to watch part 1 of this training as well. Let me tell you what I say almost every single live for the people that are new. Okay, you guys keep going to doctors for your reproductive health for fibroids. Why? Doctors are not trained to heal you. I'm not saying don't go to the doctor for any other reason, but I'm talking about your reproductive health, your womb. Doctors are there to prescribe medication, surgeries, to diagnose, and that's it. They're not there to heal you. So you keep going to the doctor and asking for advice about your fibroids. Why? If you know especially if you know that surgeries will just make them come back over and over again. You know that doctors are not there to heal. They're not there. They don't address root cause healing. They don't explain to you why these fibroids came about. They're very surface level. They just want to cut you open and that's it. Or give you medications to suppress what's going on and that's it. None of them are there to heal you. So why are you there? Why are you there for when it comes to fibroids? Why are you there asking them about fibroids? Why are you there asking them about endometriosis, adenomyosis? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make no sense. Y'all have to stop that. Okay? I say that this in almost every live, because you guys keep telling me my doctor said. They're not. And let me just tell you what I know, because I talk to doctors, behind the scenes, and my sister is almost done with medical school. Let me tell you what I know. Doctors some of them are confused why you keep going to them for that issue when you know they're not there to heal. It doesn't make any sense. But they have to do their job. They have to follow protocol, right? They're not trained to do certain things in medical school. So you guys are expecting them to do all this stuff to heal your fibroids magically. They're not there for that. They're not there. They're not going to tell you the root causes. They're not going to tell you to change your entire lifestyle. That's out of their scope of practice. So you're wasting your time when you keep going back over and over again. I learned that real quick. I said, listen, all they're prescribing is surgery. They're not giving me any real options. They're not telling me more information. What am I doing here, right? I understand if you go for, to check up and, you go to get your ultrasound to see the sizes, to see where you're currently at. I get that. But after a while, it's like you keep going to expecting them to heal your fibroids. What are we doing here, right? You're just going to get disappointed. They're going to keep pushing surgeries and hysterectomies. What's the point? Okay? So to all those that are about to type about what their doctor said, I answered your question. You don't have to type about that anymore. I'm respectfully, I don't care what your doctor said. I don't care because I know I've been doing this for years. I already know what they're going to say. You need surgery to heal your fibroids. I already know. So I really don't care. So stop typing that. Stop. Stop. And stop listening to them when it comes to fibroids, when it comes to your womb issues. I'm not saying that to listen to them when it comes to anything else. If you break your arm, please go to the doctor. Okay? If it's an emergency, please go to the doctor. But when it comes to fibroids and these reproductive health issues, they have nothing for you but medication, surgeries, and birth control. That's it. And hysterectomies. That's it. That's all they have for you. Okay? So, but the size matters when deciding on the surgery. It doesn't. Now, are the bigger fibroids, if your fibroids are really big, will it take more time to shrink and dissolve? Absolutely. But size doesn't matter. Look at some of my client testimonials. Okay, for the ones that say size matters, go to some of my client testimonials. You must be new here if you're saying that. There's one client that she just took my 6-week womb healing experience, and her fibroids were huge. You could see her belly, and literally in a month, it almost dissolved. Okay, her fibroids shrink significantly. Her quality of life got so much better. Her symptoms cleared up 100% within a month of working with me in the 6-week womb healing experience. So, listen, I have a client right now, actually, that's about to graduate from my program after working with me for 2 months in the 2-month intensive. Okay, and she's had fibroids for years, and she had long periods, horrible periods. Her periods have gotten so much better. She feels so much better. She has so much energy. Has her fibroids completely gone in just 2 months? No, because her fibroids are probably more than 20 centimeters. She hasn't gotten them checked out in a long time, but they've been growing for years. And she's tried everything. She's even tried to work with other people. She's tried everything. This is the first time she's seen a difference, okay, with working with me, with changing your entire lifestyle, okay? Not just with quick fixes, no, because that does not work with working with me, okay? I want to say, for ladies that want to prevent fibroids from coming back, you have to start, like I said, not only start taking care of yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally, treating your body, treating yourself with love, because if we've had fibroids, we're dealing with self-neglect. We're dealing with, there's been self-neglect and self-abandonment there in some form, whether it's spiritually, physically, emotionally, right? In many ways. So if we're dealing with fibroids, that's a chance for you when you're going on a womb healing journey to love on yourself, to mother yourself in a way, right? To start nourishing your body, nourishing your soul, nourishing yourself. That's a chance for you to start doing that, because a lot of you guys have not been doing that for years, right? And if you're in toxic situations, to get yourself out of that, to pull yourself out of that and stop abandoning yourself, right? You're really all you have, right? In reality, you born here by yourself. So if you don't do for you, who will, right? So you have to treat your temple. You got to treat your even like spiritually, you have to treat yourself with the highest regard. Hey, Ursula, welcome. I'm doing great. Hope that you are as well. So you have to treat yourself with the highest regard, okay? So it's important that you understand that when you have fibroids, there's been neglect there. There's been emotional neglect, physical neglect. So how are you neglecting yourself? Was it with food? Is it with the relationships that you choose? Is it with, even, are you letting people treat you any type of way in your family, in your workplace? Like, where are you abandoning yourself? Are you just not paying attention to yourself? Are you not tuning in to yourself? Are you just going through the motions and living on autopilot? Okay, where are you abandoning yourself? Okay, that's important. So, also too, this one is huge, right? You have to understand that fibroids equals block creativity. And again, this can look different for different people. This can be in different ways. So if the womb is a creative organ, when we have fibroids, this is why a lot of women, when they have fibroids, they feel stagnant in life. Their life is not moving. they want something, whatever it is. It could be there's something in their life that they want. There's somewhere where they want to be in life, but it's not moving. Things feel stagnant, right? Things feel stagnant. So fibroids represent stagnation, stagnant energy. So a lot of times when you have, and I've been through that, right? When I was dealing with fibroids, this is why when women start to heal their wombs, things start moving in their life. They start attracting more opportunities. There's a lightness to you, right? Things just start moving more in life. So when you start healing your womb and pouring into yourself, so you have to start awakening that creativity, whatever it is, right? Whether it's, if you used to, this is how we can connect also back with our inner child, especially for those women that have forgotten that. I get it. A lot of women that follow me are successful. They're here, they're there, they're everywhere, right? They've prioritized work over themselves a lot of times, right? But we have to get back to what are creative hobbies that you enjoyed, that you engaged in, that you've neglected, right? Because femininity is about creation. So what are we creating? What are we creating? This is how, for a lot of women that are, how can I say this? That feel like they have no purpose, that don't know their purpose. This is how we can kind of get back into that and find that, right? Because a lot of women that have fibroids don't know their purpose. They're not living in their purpose. And you don't want to go through life living a purposeless life, okay? Sometimes what your purpose can be connected with your career. Sometimes it's not. It's not always connected with your career. It doesn't have to be. But what is your purpose? What are you here for, right? Nobody can tell you that but you. That's something you feel in your soul. What are you here for? And sometimes we can have more than one at different points in our life, but what are you here for currently? Okay, so that's important. So start diving into creative outlets, especially for those busy women that, again, you're here, you're that are so, like, I get it, career driven, I am as well. But what also are we doing to pour into ourselves, to pour into our creativity? Like, what are hobbies that you're doing, right? Get more in align with that creative side of you. That's important, okay? So if you've suppressed that creativity by avoiding hobbies, avoiding interests, get back into that. Some of you guys were amazing at art, at painting, and you stopped. Some of you guys were amazing at singing, and you stopped just because life's happened, and it's like you're making 100 excuses of why you don't want to get back to that. When your soul is calling you to get back to that, get back to it. Get back to it, okay? That's important. What are you offering for fibroids? So, if you want to know what our offers are, I would recommend go to the link in my bio. I do have a 3-month intensive inside of my Detoxify Your Womb program where I help women. And it's closing actually at midnight, by the way, in case you're just, you guys are new. It's closing. There are 3-month intensive inside of our Detoxify Your Womb program where you work with me for 3 months, one-on-one. This is not. You have to be committed to this, right? To transform your entire life, to help you become free of fibroids before coming into 2026, right? Even if you're not able to dissolve the entire fibroid or all the fibroids before then, at least get it to a significant smaller place where after 2026, we do in a month or two is gone. So helping women with total fibroid elimination, working with them one-on-one, working on the emotional root causes and the physical root causes, okay? And more information about that is in the link in my bio. We start tomorrow. So if you are interested in joining, we have a payment plan and where you can pay in full. If you're interested in this is not, and it's not like light work. It is for women that are serious because you're going to be working with me on a one-on-one basis. So we have to, and I'm going to be guiding you throughout the 3 months. Also too, and if you want to check out some of our testimonials, if you're new, check out our testimonials. We have some of them pinned in the on TikTok. YouTube, scroll through the community tab, you'll see testimonials. Scroll through the shorts, you'll see some testimonials, okay? So that's what I'm offering right now that we have the 3-month intensive. That's closing at midnight. If you can't make that, look into our 6-week womb healing experience, okay? The link is in my bio if you want more information. If you are watching from YouTube, The link is in the description box, okay? For the 6-week womb healing experience and as well the 3-month intensive, okay? That's why I started back dancing. Hey, Marquita. Yes, I love that. I love that. Yeah. Get back into those creative hobbies, ladies. Put in the chat. What are some creative hobbies that you've neglected that you want to get back into? Okay? Put in the chat. We got to get back. Stop suppressing your creativity, right? Stop suppressing. As you're doing this work, get back into that. Get back into your femininity. Get back in being in alignment with yourself, right? I'm not telling you to just forego your responsibilities. No, I'm telling you create space for you, okay? That is the 3 months. Make sure that I'm saying this with love. All of the information is in the link in the bio, okay? So when you click the link in my bio, it will tell you. It will tell you. Read the description, okay? So that answer is, just click the link in my bio. You'll see the prices. You'll see the full description. That price is for the 3-month intensive, okay? For women that want to work with me. And I don't have a 3-week program. I have a 6-week program, okay? This is investment worthy, ladies. As someone who has had a lengthy experience with fibroids, Marquita, let them know. So, like, some women have been suffering for years with fibroids, but don't think that they're worth, investing in themselves. Okay. And again, I only work with women that believe that this problem is worthy than investing in, that understand and know, listen, they want better for their lives. They want better for themselves. And they understand when you have fibroids, it's not just a fibroid, it's a full body issue. I don't know about you guys. And I say this all the time, if I would have had somebody like me when I was dealing with fibroids, I would have paid anything to get rid of them. Because it destroys the quality of your life. So the women that I work with, they understand the investment. They know the investment, okay? So hysterectomy did not sit right with me. I'm refusing it. I found Sasha. Marquita is killing it. And she's one of the testimonies that I posted. Thank you, Marquita. Absolutely. So it's important that you understand that being free of these issues is priceless. Some people are not going to understand it. That's okay. You can watch these lives. They're free. But I know there's women out there that's sitting in the backgrounds that understand that this problem is so much. What you're learning is not just going to last for 3 months or 6 months. No. It's what you can take with you for the rest of your life, right? This is what you're learning. So it has a lifetime value. I have clients that still contact me from 2 years ago. I told you guys about my client that had her baby earlier this year and are still experiencing the benefits of what they learned in the program. It's stuff that they can take with them and pass back to their daughters, pass down to their daughters, the information that they've learned, so their daughters don't have to suffer with fibroids. Because if you have fibroids, more than likely your daughter's gonna have fibroids or another reproductive health condition if you don't intervene. Okay, so there's that. This stuff is priceless. Okay, myomectomy runs you about, depending on the state, $20,000. IVF will run you about $25,000 to $30,000 per round. And guess what? That it has a 37% success rate. Okay, so there's that. Okay, any other questions? I want to say that. So, ladies, return to your hobbies. Return as you're healing your body, as you're healing your womb. You gotta return to these creative hobbies, or get into your creativity somehow, some way. Okay, somehow, some way. What did you used to connect with that you've neglected? This is part of you connecting with self. Okay. Any other questions before I go? Okay. And this is part 2 of preventing fibroids from reoccurring. Make sure if you're watching from TikTok, be sure to watch part 1. The link is in my description to subscribe to the YouTube channel. So if you go to the live stream portion of the YouTube channel, scroll, you're gonna see part 1. I did it about a week ago. Okay, so watch part 1 as well. Okay, you're so welcome. So I hope that this served you, ladies. Thank you guys for being here. Get on the email list so you'll know what we have going on. But for women that are serious about getting rid of fibroids, our 3-month intensive is open. And so if you want to work with me the last 3 months of 2024, if you want to go into 2025, if you want to go into 2026, renewed, hormones being in balance and fibroids gone, reach out to me. Let's go. Okay, and today also too, for women that are interested in our 3-month intensive, I do have a Zoom call at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for women that are interested and just have more questions. This is only for women that are interested in the 3-month intensive. So if that's you, reach out to me via email. The link is in my bio for my email. If you want to email me, if you're watching from YouTube, the link is in my bio. Reach out to me via email if you're interested in a 3-month intensive, but you just have questions. I'm doing a Zoom call today, okay? All right, ladies, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Talk to you soon. Bye.